All right, folks, it is time to start splitting some hairs. Today, we're going to be comparing Draft2Digital with IngramSpark. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm MK. I'm an author and I love sharing my insights about all things books and publishing with you. Before I get into the details of today's topic, don't forget to hit subscribe. You'll be notified when I put out new videos every week about publishing, making a career out of being an author, and now being a mompreneur. And today's video is definitely for self-publishing authors. I'm going to be comparing IngramSpark to Draft2Digital. Now, before I go into all the details, I want to make it clear I use both of these platforms. When I was first starting out self publishing, I had ebooks only. I have so many videos about why I thought I was going to save the trees with ebooks only. But I had Amazon KDP for Amazon distribution, and I used Smashwords for my wide ebook distribution. They were later acquired by Draft2Digital, so all my wide ebooks are with Draft2Digital. When I did decide to start doing print books, I used Amazon KDP for Amazon distribution for my print books. And at the time, Smashwords and Draft2Digital weren't offering print distribution, so I used IngramSpark. And I'm just too exhausted and have too much going on to try and merge them at this point. It's it just is how it is. But for you as an author, if you value efficiency, if you want as close to a one-stop shop for distribution, you may be looking at IngramSpark for ebook and print distribution, as well as Draft2Digital for ebook and print distribution. I do think it is simple, it is easy. If I was restarting over today, I would likely just pick one of them to have for my print and ebook wide distribution altogether instead of having multiple logins, multiple tax forms, multiple passwords, multiple reset, like all the things. I do think it is more efficient and it just wasn't an option when I started almost a decade ago. So I'm going to be going over the differences of what I think is an advantage for each of the different platforms. This is really going to come down to what you prefer and what makes sense for you, your books, and the author career that you want. So I'm going to try to be as neutral as I can. I think both of them are great platforms. I use both of them. I've worked with both of them. I'm not trying to shade anybody. I'm just trying to tell you as an author what you can expect from each one. Okay, so let's start out with the formats that are available. So with IngramSpark, you can self-publish ebooks, paperbacks, and hardcovers. And as of the time I'm recording this with Draft2Digital, you can distribute ebooks and paperbacks. So in that case, I would say the advantage is to IngramSpark. They offer the hardcover, Draft2Digital doesn't. Now, as far as the distribution network for ebooks and print, I'm going to say this round is a tie. Because for ebooks, Draft2Digital may have a slight edge because you can dynamically change the actual front and back matter, but the actual reach is exactly the same, especially when you consider that the print is run off of Ingram's network and IngramSpark is run off of Ingram's network. It's the same. For returnability and wholesale discount. Now, IngramSpark in this case you can set your book as returnable or not. You can set it as returnable to either destroy or return and deliver the returned books to you. You can adjust this once a week. IngramSpark asks you to only do it once every 6 weeks. And for IngramSpark, you can set your wholesale discount from 40 to 55%, which is what brick and mortar retailers want to see. For Draft2Digital, you do not have an option to have any returnability for your print books, and you can set a 15% wholesale discount. Now, with this, Draft2Digital is clearly saying that if you want to break into brick and mortar retail, IngramSpark may be a better fit for you. Yes, all of us authors dream of seeing our books in Barnes & Noble or our local bookstore, but are you actually going to build the relationships and pound the pavement for it? And if so, you're likely going to be starting out doing maybe some consignment instead of having them order through the Ingram network. So I would really think hard about that if you're making the decision solely based on, I want brick and mortar, I want brick and mortar. Are you actually going to do that? Or are you going for the more simplicity of individual buyers can buy it online at the retailer? I will order author copies and I will see if I can get them in at markets. Like, really think about that. If the only reason you're picking IngramSpark over Draft2Digital is just for that brick and mortar returnability and wholesale discount, make sure that you're prioritizing that strategy then. Okay, so in terms of returnability and wholesale discount, I'm going to give the point in this round to IngramSpark because they have that option. But really, again, it just depends on your strategy. Okay, ease of publication. So for IngramSpark, you need to bring already formatted files for the print interior and the print exterior. Ideally, I really think you should be bringing your own EPUB file. They do have a converter that you can pay for where you can upload your Word doc or your PDF, and IngramSpark will charge you by page to convert it to EPUB. I don't love that though, because then you're locked in to just that EPUB. And from what I've experienced working with authors, it is very difficult, near impossible to actually get your EPUB file for you to just like test it on your own device. Like it's not very clear how to do that. Whereas with Draft2Digital, you can upload a Microsoft Word file to create the ebook or paperback on Draft2Digital. Very easy to convert from ebook to paperback. They have those tools there for authors, so you don't have to go with a professional formatter. If you don't like what they have, or if you want a professional to format it, you can still do that and bring your own file. So in this case, I think the advantage goes to Draft2Digital in terms of making it easy for authors to upload that Microsoft Word file and they will handle the back end, or you can still bring your own files if you want to. Whereas with IngramSpark, you have to bring those files. Revisions. So typos happen, right? Revisions happen. For IngramSpark, you have free revisions on your files for the first 60 days. So if you upload that file and you are not planning to release it for a year because you're just going to keep changing things on the back end because it's just a draft, you're going to run out of free revisions in 60 days. This is why I always say, no matter who you're uploading with, never upload a draft. Only upload your final files. I have seen people get burned by this all the time. I have at least 2 rant videos about this. Don't upload drafts. Okay. So for IngramSpark, you can make a revision within 60 days. After that, it costs $25 per revision. So if you have to revise the interior and the cover of your print book, that's a $50 revision. So just know that. Now, I am a member of the Alliance of Independent Authors. With that, I get 1 free revision a month now. That's subject to change, but that's at least been a nice benefit. If you want to join the Alliance of Independent Authors to get that revision code, I will have a link below for you. Now, with Draft2Digital, they have unlimited free revisions on ebooks, right? If you find a little typo or you want to change that front matter, back matter, unlimited. You get 1 free print revision every 90 days on those paperbacks. If you need to make another revision before that next 90 days is up, you can purchase another token for $25. So I'm going to give the point to Draft2Digital here, but the underlying message is just like, don't upload things that you plan to have to revise, right? It's one thing if you're like, this is perfect. I have had 10 people proofread it. I have had my lawyer friend proofread it. I have had a professional proofreader proofread this. This is typo free. And you finally get the copy and you open it. And on page 1, there's a typo. Okay, that happens. That's what these revision fees or waiving of revision fees are for. Don't upload drafts. Don't do it. It's such a bad idea. So then this kind of feeds into this is fees or cost to publish. Now, neither of these services have any upfront fees anymore. IngramSpark used to have that where you had to pay a fee just to upload and get onto their distribution network. They don't have that anymore. And Draft2Digital does not have any upfront fees. You may think,
okay, all of the self-publishing services are free.
They're not. Several require you to pay like a monthly fee to be on their system. I don't use those because some months I would make more than enough to cover it, and some months I wouldn't. And that would really stress me out. So I would say a tie in this case, because neither have any upfront fees to upload or to just be on their website and be on their service. Royalties. All right, we're definitely deep into the money section here. Now, for IngramSpark, your ebook royalty is anywhere between 65 to 70%. Now, print will vary based on the wholesale discount that you've selected. But you have more control over that, and you can actually play around with the calculator to look at that. For Draft2Digital, the ebook on the homepage, Draft2Digital says that they take 10%. So the author keeps 90%. I wasn't very clear because is it Draft2Digital taking 10% and then the retailer is taking another amount? I was not happy with the clarity on that. And then for print, Draft2Digital has a 60% royalty to the author after print costs. One thing I do like here is with Draft2Digital is you can do multiple author split payments if you have co-authors, if you're doing an anthology, and that makes it a lot easier for you, the author or co-author, to figure that out, which I like. Now, in this case, I would say both of these services have print royalty calculators. Use them. If you are truly deciding between the two, use the calculators that they have and compare what you are going to pocket before you upload. So that way you can understand, well, I'm giving up a bit more here, but I like this flexibility here. Make use of the tools they're giving you. Don't just blind upload and then say, well, how much am I getting from this? I've seen authors do rant videos about this where they're complaining about how much they made. And I was like, the calculator was there the whole time. Like, you could have looked. You could have taken 5 minutes to look at how much you were going to make and then compared it. So please, 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 please use the calculators first before you decide. If you haven't noticed, these services are tied. The differences, I believe, are so minute and really come down to a personal preference and your personal publishing strategy. If you work with co-authors, you're probably going to go with Draft2Digital. If you're a lone wolf, the benefit of having the split payments doesn't matter to you. What's key here? Come close. Come closer. Don't upload to both of them. So I'm going to reiterate, I have Draft2Digital for ebook distribution. I have IngramSpark for my print wide distribution. I am not going to double my efforts and confuse the retailers with multiple listings by having the ebook and print on both. Okay. At the end of the day, you may just pick IngramSpark for both or Draft2Digital for both. Okay. I'm a Smashwords legacy, and Draft2Digital didn't always have print. I'm not going to migrate my listings because of the headache. Okay. But what I want you to do is pick one. Okay. Pick one for print, one for ebook. If they're both the same, great. If they're going to be different, so be it. But do not have both for ebook and both for print. It's a headache for you. It's a headache for readers. It's a headache for everybody. Don't do it. All right. So which platform do you currently use? What questions do you have or concerns do you have about IngramSpark or Draft2Digital? Let me know in the comments below. If I already have that video, I will respond with that so you can check it out, or I'll make a new video to answer your question. If you found this information helpful, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, or maybe hit that new thanks button. That tells YouTube you got value from this information, and then they can get it in front of other authors like us. Now you can get back to writing your book.